It's the last 80 minutes of the regular championship season for Dewsbury and the Leigh Centurions here at the Tetley Stadium tonight. And what a crucial game it is for both sides. For the Rams, victory is vital if they're to avoid relegation, while the Centurions know that only a massive win here can make rivals Featherstone work for first place. Well, Leigh must win by 60+ points to make Featherstone require at least a bonus point from their visit to Widnes on Sunday. And Leigh look likely to miss out on first place, even though they've lost just once in their league campaign. Of course, they were deducted 3 points for a salary cap breach from last year, hence the asterisk alongside their name at the top of the table. For the Dewsbury Rams, well, it looks like a return to Championship 1 unless they can pull off a big win here. Next season's championship makeup still undecided by the RFL. The Toulouse side definitely dropping out, but it's going to be 10th, definitely going down by the look of things, so Dewsbury know they can't afford to finish there. Difficult games coming up for Hunslet at home to Halifax and York away to Sheffield, and those two will be watching tonight's game very closely indeed. Well, a vital game, and Dewsbury would like to have everybody fit and available. Not the case even to the last minute, with Josh Tonks failing a late fitness test for the Rams. James Craven is at full-back. Then it's Michael Wainwright, Andy Smith, Aidan Fowle, no Liam Wellham. His rotten luck with injuries continues. Austin Buchanan, Patrick Walker and Dominic Brambani. And in the forwards, Anthony England, Luke Blake, Steve Crossley, Rob Spicer, James Lockwood and Mark Barlow, who started the season with the York City Knights but moved here when he was released by the Knights, is at loose forward in place of Tonks. Luke Menzies, Elliot Cosgrove, Richard Fletcher and Matt Nicholson on the bench for the coach Warren Jowett. Now then, the Leigh Centurions coming to terms with the fact that their coach Ian Millwood is leaving the club at the end of the season and taking over the reins at the Castleford Tigers in Super League, have Stuart Donlan at fullback, Steve Maiden, Stuart Littler, Mick Nannin, Dean McGilvray, Martin Ridyard and Rugby League's top try scorer in the professional game, Jamie Ellis, 33 tries to his name so far for the Hull-bound scrum half. In the forwards, Chris Hill, John Duffy, Steve Nash, Andy Thornley, Tommy Goulden and James Taylor. And on the bench, Robbie Hunter-Paul, young Sam Hopkins, Tom Armstrong and David Mills. The coach is Ian Millwood. Well, it has been a wretched second season in the championship for Dewsbury, just 4 wins from 19 matches. Meanwhile, the Leigh Centurions, whose supporters are here in good number, second in the table, and what might have been had they not been deducted those points. There is Ian Millwood, who next season will be in charge at the Castleford Tigers, returning to Super League. Of course, a glittering career there with St Helens before he went back to Australia to work alongside Graham Murray at the North Queensland Cowboys, came back and resurrected his British career with the Leigh Centurions, and would like to bow out with a double. They've already got the Northern Rail Cup in the trophy cabinet from that victory over Halifax, and now aiming for a grand final appearance. I wonder though whether all this news about Ian Millwood, Barry, moving on, is that going to unsettle the side at all?
It could be slightly unsettling for the Leigh Centurions, who are coming up against a highly motivated Dewsbury Rams side. They're in that dogfight at the bottom with York and Hunslet, and they know that they need a win. Stuart Donlan leads the Leigh Centurions, knowing that those 3 points between themselves and Featherstone Rovers can be caught. They can give a real good shake to get in the top of the table, but they can only control what's within their control, and that's the way that they perform.
Interestingly, Featherstone Rovers supporters among the crowd here this evening. I noticed a few of them outside having a quick drink beforehand, obviously here to cheer on the Dewsbury Rams, I would think, just to make sure that Leigh Centurions don't get anywhere near them. Leigh wearing their change strip this evening, and up against a Dewsbury Rams side who, as I mentioned, have had a tortuous season. They went through a really miserable patch, losing 12 games in a row, just 4 wins from 19, but they have won their last 2 at home against the Barrow Raiders and against Hunslet. And 12 months ago, Dewsbury were in a very similar position, flirting with relegation. They produced an astonishing finale with 4 wins from their final 4 games, and that included a 30 points to 6 win at Leigh, so it can be done. George Stokes is the referee in charge at the Tetley Stadium this evening. The pitch in pretty good nick for the Tetley Stadium, which doesn't have the most abundant of grass covering at times, but it's looking pretty verdant at the moment as the high kickoff from Dewsbury is dealt with eventually by the Leigh Centurions.
I'm sure you'll see Dewsbury give it everything they've got tonight. They're looking for that bonus point, they're even looking for that win, and they know that they can match Leigh Centurions in the middle of the park. But if they let Leigh dictate the speed of the play around the middle of the park and give penalties away, that will not help their cause tonight.
The referee already laying down the law.
England trying to slow that play of the ball, just as you mentioned, Tez. Leigh Centurions are lightning round that dummy half. Players like John Duffy feed off the quick play of the ball.
Warren Jowett's, of course, brought the side up with a remarkable season. 18 from 18 when they won the title in Championship 1 in 2009, but it's been a tough ask since then. That was tough tackling from the Rams. Here's Steve Nash, and Nash, leggy prop forward, evades the first tackler. Eventually it's with Hill, and Hill right in front of those posts. Duffy, first opportunity really for the Centurions, and Ellis with the pass, but it ricochets away from Goulden.
That pass too hard from Tommy Goulden. We've got a nice look at Chris Hill, a player in this division making good strides. There's Tommy Goulden. Soft hands, you feel. And Jamie Ellis, another player going up to Super League with Hull next year.
Austin Buchanan plays the ball now, and here's Michael Wainwright. Very experienced, over 100 appearances in his Castleford Tigers days, Wainwright. 3 tackles gone as Dewsbury hit the halfway line. Crossley plays the ball. Blake now. It's with Rob Spicer. On the 40-metre line, Spicer, as he plays that. England. That's the 5th tackle as Anthony England came here from Gateshead Thunder, plays the ball. And then Pat Walker hoists the kick, but McGilvray, time underneath that one.
Well, that set for Dewsbury was all about completion. Low-risk players just trying to target Leigh around the middle of the park. Finished off with a decent kick, a decent chase, and now this is where they must control Leigh. Again, you can see the speedsters getting in behind dummy half, trying to win the first couple of plays.
There goes Steve Maiden to attempt to do just that. Makes it to the 20-metre line. England and Crossley with the tackle, and now Nash. Crowd liked that. Good tackle from Andy Smith. That's Goulden. That's the 5th tackle.
Oh, I think he
knock on from Duffy.
Tommy Goulden, while he was trying to get up, it was a heavy shot. Andy Smith throwing himself about in the early stages. A little bit of interference, but just a clean drop there from Tommy Goulden. Solid as a rock, Tommy Goulden, for the Leigh Centurions, and 2 early mistakes for the forward.
Okay, guys, when you're ready, put your time, please. All right, head in, please, Stuart. When you're ready. When you're ready, too.
So Dewsbury head and feed. Brambani, Walker stretching for that. And here's the fullback, Craven, and Craven almost bundled into touch.
Go. Jamie, out! Jamie! Jamie!
Buchanan.
2. Move! Well done. Hold. Hold.
He's tackled on the 20-metre line. Now it's with Steve Crossley, a Bradford Bulls player on loan here at Dewsbury. Big lad, Steve Crossley. Brambani. Short pass, finds Lockwood. Here's Blake now.
10 metres.
Crossley. And Crossley is held 10 metres out. That's the 5th tackle.
Hold. Go.
Here is Dominic Brambani, wearing number 41, puts the kick in, and across sweeps Steve Maiden to gather the ball.
Well, Steve Maiden has to secure that ball, but it's only subtle from Steve Crossley. When he goes into that tackle, he looks to offload, committing 3 defenders. Now, that Leigh retreater, that's the space that Dewsbury Rams kicked into. A good composed start from the Dewsbury side.
Make an effort on the goal line, yeah? Let's go, Nick. Time on.
Referee calls time back on as McNannin thumps that one downfield. There's no real alternative from the boot of McNannin. It's always a thump. And Anthony England runs it back in, and Nash there to meet him.
Like to see that in a forward, Billy. Caught that ball on the full, chewed up 20 metres for his side.
Here's Wainwright. It's a good start from Dewsbury. It'll be bringing them a little bit of confidence, perhaps. The ball from Spicer, and then Aidan Farrell, and Farrell trying to wrestle his way through. Still going, the former Leeds man. Plays the ball on the 10-metre line, and they go down the short side. It's with Spicer again. First threat, really, to the Leigh line. Ellis calling his defenders into position alongside him. Go the other way, though. Here's Barlow. Barlow for Andy Smith, and Smith. That's the 5th tackle. At least they need another good kick, and it is the boot of Brambani again, hoisting one up, and Ellis catches it. And it's going to be a restart on the 20, says the referee, and McGilvery there to take the tap from Duffy.
Well, Warren Jarrett will be very happy with the way that his side have started this game. Attacking-wise, they're not waiting back, they're looking up, they're making the players what's in front of them. The big forward setting the platform, and then Brambani playing off the back of that, and they really do look up for this game against what is a much-fancied Leigh Centurion side.
Dewsbury flirting with the whistle, I think, with their keenness to get in the faces of the Leigh Centurions. And it's Leigh now with the Ridyard. Ridyard finds Nannin. Nannin quickly closed down, but they were offside, I think.
The referee, George Stokes, saying there was hands in on Big McNannin. It's a very flat line, and you have to commit bodies to McNannin. One of those fringe players that can beat a man one-on-one, and Brambani has a good crack at that ball.
So the penalty puts Leigh in a good position, and Duffy trying to make progress. He does that with a darting run. Taylor underneath the post virtually as James Taylor plays the ball. Ellis, Ridyard, there's Donlan, and Donlan. Maiden comes back infield and loses ground. Hounded down by the Dewsbury Rams defenders. Duffy takes him down the short side. That's the 5th tackle as Littler plays the ball. And Ellis stabs the kick in. It's a great one, and it's going to come up. I think for Taylor, is it? Behind the posts, it is Jimmy Taylor, who reacted superbly to that as the ball ricocheted, and James Taylor gets his 4th try of the season. And the penalty led to that try, the first of the game for the Centurions.
Yeah, unfortunately, Dominic Brambani, at that point he's one-on-one, and 2 of his teammates come in to give the penalty to the Leigh Centurions, and from that field position, a nice kick from Jamie Ellis, just as Dewsbury Rams did up the other end of the pitch. And James Taylor on hand, it more or less plops into his hand, and all he has to do is catch it and put it down.
One of the longer servers in this Leigh side in his 7th season, over 150 appearances now for the club. And McNannin, as you can see there, 136 goals to his credit, and he's already got 5 tries in the 2 victories over Dewsbury this season for the Centurions. And this one towards the empty terracing, and Leigh ahead by 6 points to 0. They just need another 56 or so, I think, to make Featherstone sweat a bit.
Well, Dominic Brambani, he thinks he positions himself perfectly well. Unfortunately for him, there's the goalpost that's in between him and James Taylor, and James Taylor just pushing up. He knew exactly where Jamie Ellis was going to place that ball. He was in the right place at the right time to score the try for Leigh.
57 more points Leigh needs if they are to have any hope of denying Featherstone Rovers. Featherstone at Widnes, in their final regular round game of the season before the playoffs start in the championship. Is Steve Nash having a good season. Nash had a wretched 2010, only made a handful of appearances because of injury. Ellis. Leigh, well, we've seen their attacking flair plenty of times this season, and certainly are in attacking mood at the moment. Something like 180 points in their last 4 games. The Centurions. Ellis just grubbers that one along the ground. And Craven, the fullback, that's a good break from him. James Craven has got some support. It's Barlow in field, but Barlow was cut off by Duffy, who did well there. They might just have diffused the danger here, the Centurions. Here's Walker now. Walker will kick over the top. Buchanan will chase it, and it'll find touch. Or will it? Will it find touch? Or has that bounced up for Aidan Farrell? Referee Stokes says to Ian Smith, you take a look at that.
Well, Austin Buchanan, everybody else had given up on this kick. I'm not sure whether it was the right option or not, but Austin Buchanan's reaction, I'll tell you what, I think this is a try, mate. Superb skills. Here's the kick, a nice chip over the top. He probably had numbers and had the right to have a crack. Are they onside? Yes. Does Austin Buchanan have his feet in the field of play when he pats it back? Yes. I would say this is a try.
Touchline camera in good position to have a look at this. There's the kick.
Do you know, Bill, this is a huge play for a team that's near the bottom of the table, playing for their lives and playing for survival. To come up with a kick like that, the players pushing up, Austin Buchanan not giving up on that. I'm sure this is going to be a try.
You've got to give him that. Fantastic skill from the winger.
Aidan Farrell, there he is in support. Bops the ball down. Is that his 10th of the season? And an instant response from the Rams. Ian Smith, the video ref. And his decision is it is a try. And Aidan Farrell, who was a Leeds Academy player, a former Dudley Hill amateur as well, in the centres with Liam Whellan absent through injury. And he stayed alive there. It looked as though, for all the world, that was going to find touch until Austin Buchanan intervened. Now Pat Walker from the touchline to level the scores. And he's hooked that one. But it's a good answer from the Dewsbury Rams, 4-6. Immediate response from Warren Jowett's side.
Well, that try comes from a superb break from James Craven. Catches this ball and backs himself, runs hard and strong against 2 big players that should have dealt with him, really. And there's an old saying in rugby league, a kick is only as good as its chase. And the chase on this occasion was first class. Austin Buchanan had every right to watch that ball drift into touch, but he has a crack, pass it back, and they scored a try.
That's lifted the Rams supporters here at the Tetley Stadium. And lifted the Dewsbury Rams by the look of things as well. Real vigorosity as they return the ball there as far as the 30-metre line. Warren Jowett, very much an old school coach. Bradford Bulls, of course, during the heyday of the Bulls. That ferocious pack they had. Blake taking him on himself. That's the 5th tackle, just over the halfway line. And the ball back with the Rams captain Brambani, but not the best kick, although Donlan almost let it get away from him.
Well, they've come up with a decent chase, but what's impressive about Dewsbury in the opening 12 minutes is the amount of times that they keep turning up for each other, pushing up in support, leading into that next hole. Even when they know that they're going to get a belt off one of the lead players, they're still turning up for the teammate, and that's exactly what they need tonight. If they want to win this game or even get a bonus point, they need to keep doing that for the full 80 minutes.
Leigh just the one defeat all season, get the penalty, and the referee saying that was a shot that started off high.
Well, the last time they give a penalty away, it leads to a try, and it's Chris Hill, just footwork at the line, and you can see that it's Lockwood. He's trying to take Hill to ground, using his head as a lever, which is illegal obviously in rugby league. Chris Hill gaining the penalty.
One, move!
Littler.
Hold, yeah. Hold, go.
So they're only about 10 metres out now as the ball is popped up, and it's with Donlan, and Donlan, that was great hands from the Centurions, and Donlan extends Leigh's lead, and again the penalty pays a price. Donlan scoring the try. Meanwhile, back play, the referee having a word with the Rams captain Dominic Brambani about something that went on there. I think in fact more it was the Rams captain wanting a word with the referee about something that went on there, but the fact is that try stands from Donlan.
Well, Dewsbury need to control their emotions. I do enjoy watching forwards, a nice bit of interplay whenever you see a forward tipping the ball on to one of his teammates. We saw a couple of tries like that at Wembley. They worked very well for the Wigan club, and Donlan gets the try that maybe just quietens Dewsbury Rams down a little bit. And I think if they're going to keep in this game, they need to keep composed and not get too excited, not get too wrapped up in the emotion of it.
McNannon will make it 2 from 2 surely with this one, as it's just about in front of the posts. Good hands from Leigh in the build-up to that try, but Dewsbury's defence not the sternest, you'd have to say. The Rams 4, Leigh 12 now.
Well, Leigh are just playing it simple, targeting Dewsbury up the middle of the park, and this is just soft hands. You can see it. This is exactly what I'm saying about turning up for your mate, even when you know you're going to get belted. But that's one thing that they must learn now, Dewsbury, and Warren Jowett must get the message down. If you give a penalty away, you must make sure that you switch on defensively for that, in that next set of 6.
Crossley with a big hit, and that drove Chris Hill back. Hill, of course, one of the players who'll be leaving Leigh at the end of this season. It's not just the coach who is moving on. Hill off to join the Warrington Wolves, and many people thinking he's overdue a chance in Super League. Of course, final call for Robbie Hunter-Paul at the end of this season, and Jamie Ellis on his way as well. He's off to Hull, and suggestion that Ricky Bybee's association with the Leigh Centurions might be coming to an end as well. So it will be a period of transition at the end of this season, but work to do before the end. As Goulden plays the ball, Ellis puts the kick into the corner, and Buchanan quite leisurely lets that one go, and they'll tap on the 20 to restart.
I'm almost a little disappointed that Austin let that ball off the pitch. He's the firecracker in this Dewsbury side. You saw some very committed defence from Dewsbury. They know they need to contain Leigh Centurions when they've got the ball, and Warren Jowett, I know him very well, he won't allow Dewsbury to give in.
Here is the Rams try scorer, Aidan Fowle. Just inside Leigh half. Crossley. 4 tackles gone. Lockwood. Good offload from him to Barlow, back to Brambani. Brambani across the field, gets away from the first tackle and takes 3 of them eventually to stop him on the last. And a good change of angle from Pat Walker, and again Buchanan manages to bat it back, but this time it's Littler who snaps it up. Maybe not the pace of old from Stuart Littler, and not the handling of old either, because he's knocked the ball on there.
I thought they knocked on up the other end of the park, but Stuart Littler, he thought he was away, and then just comes up with a mistake. Gives Dewsbury Rams another attacking set. Well, here's where Maiden goes up. I thought that ball goes forward to Stuart Littler. He's not waiting around for the decision. He goes down under the pressure from Buchanan, and just the body weight, it just loses that ball underneath.
Barlow picks up from the base of the scrum and makes some yards, and here is Steve Crossley now, and Crossley felt that tackle from Taylor.
Good shot in the ribs from Taylor.
Is Walker now, Walker. Andy Smith, who's dispensed with the headband, that didn't last long. Looked like something from Glastonbury, more like. Here is Dominic Brambani. And Brambani, well, hounded down by Chris Hill there. 4 tackles gone. Good defence this from the Centurions so far. Matty Nicholson on, plays the ball. Here goes Blake, and Blake trying it himself. And that's the turnover.
Oh, it's a good position to hand the ball over, but I'm not sure Warren Jowett would have wanted that from his hooker. Matty Nicholson, with good leg drive, committed 3 defenders, and there was a chance maybe to find a chink and maybe a bit of fracture in the defence, possibly out wide.
Dewsbury now looking to force another error from this Leigh Centurion side. 3 tackles gone. Here is Ellis. Goulden now, that looked high, it was. The referee didn't like that one either. And it was Andy Smith who was the culprit there.
Well, Andy Smith really getting stuck into some of those Leigh players. A nice sharp line against the grain. Tommy Goulden will do that all day and all night. And he doesn't mind people clocking him around the throat if he gets the ball back.
4-0, the penalty count in favour of the Leigh Centurions so far. And they've really made the Rams pay when they've had possession from a penalty. Scored 2 of their tries as a result of the territory gain from a penalty. Taylor is just short there, but Chris Hill, and Hill is over. Is he held up?
I think he is, Bill.
The referee says he's not certain.
James Craven.
Ian Smith will have a look and see whether he grounded that ball.
Just watch James Craven's body position here. When he gets Chris Hill, he knows that he's coming on a short ball, and he clamps hold of that ball. He gets underneath his elbow, he uses the lever, and then he wraps himself on the ball as he spins over. I'm sure he prevents him from scoring this. This is a huge play, this. Look at him, locked on. He knows exactly where the ball is. Does he ground that ball? I don't think he does from that shot.
Superb goal line defence from Dewsbury and James Craven. Very brave tackle, and all he has to do, he doesn't need to get in a wrestle and try to out-muscle the bigger player, Chris Hill.
Time back on, held up. 4 tackles, Chris.
4 tackles gone. The Leigh prop was held up. Great work from 22-year-old Craven, the Rams fullback. But has it just delayed the inevitable? Possibly, although Ellis felt that. That was a good shot as well. Smith again on the last, and Ridyard does well to pick that ball. It was played out. It's back to 1, says the referee. I'm not sure that was played at.
Well, whatever the decision from the referee, they've got to concentrate now.
Duffy right under those posts. Duffy plays the ball. Ellis, he's just short. Tried to do it on his own there, Jamie Ellis, looking for try number 34 of the season. Ridyard and Nanin in at the corner. Close under the posts. They didn't get there, but they got another set of 6. The ball was played at, according to the referee. 6 to go, and they made it tell the Leigh Centurions.
Well, good sides, Bill, no matter what division they're in, can back up their efforts. Here's a fantastic effort from James Craven. His teammates really appreciate that, and they back that up. I'm with you, Bill. I'm not too sure. I think it's a bad call, but Tez was bob on. You need to be good with your reaction. What's next? That's the question they should be asking themselves, and this is just a mismatch. And Big Mick Nanin, one-on-one with Bram Barnett, just gets the ball over.
Mick Nanin, who'll attempt to convert his own try. He got a hat-trick in the 34-6 win against the Rams in the championship. He also got 2 tries in a Northern Rail Cup win in the semi-finals against the Rams. So they'll be sick of the sight of him, as will most sides, really. Mick Nanin tends to rack up the points wherever he goes. Referee Stokes having to endure a volley of abuse from Rams supporters who felt that was a harsh decision. It's all part of the learning curve for a referee making his way up the grades. And Nanin has missed with that one. And Leigh, though, ahead by 16 points to 4.
Well, Dewsbury yet again give cheap field position up because of the ill discipline. Then Craven comes up with a big play. He holds up Hill over the line. But again, they just need to make sure that they switch on for the full set of 6. And Mick Nannin, that was just a mismatch between him and Mike Wainwright.
Nannin batting that ball back and did well there. It ended up in the arms of Goulden. Leigh, probably one of the fittest sides in the championship. Paul Rowley, who works on the conditioning side of things, really does drill them hard, so they'll last the pace. Of course, Ian Millward moving on. There'll be speculation about who will take over at Leigh Sports Village. Paul Rowley, very much a long-term servant of the club, but whether he'd want to take the reins, it's going to be a difficult period for the club, transitional phase. Of course, there's not a great deal of money. They've had their money problems this season. There is Paul Rowley, works on the defence as well. That one was played at, says the referee. Ellis kicks it on, it's picked up by Craven.
They were lucky, Dewsbury, there. The ball bobbling all over the place. I think it actually hit a Dewsbury player. But that was a pretty good defensive set. I'm not sure I agree with the short kick-off. There's the charge down. It's in legs and arms and everything. I'm not sure I agree with the short kick-off just yet. They need to keep Leigh over the other end of the park. But let's see what they can do with ball in hand now.
Dewsbury still waiting for their first penalty of the night, I think, and the crowd letting the referee know that fact as well. Here they are in possession with Walker, and Walker delaying the pass and then finds Craven. Craven, a nice dummy from him. Still going the full back. Play on, says the referee. It's Aidan File now. Here is Brambani. The Rams with their tails up, so to speak, up to the 10-metre line. He was trying to play the ball there. He had a player all over him. Wainwright is in the corner, is he? What a finish that is from Michael Wainwright. Great response again from the Dewsbury Rams, and take it back to the fullback James Craven with that run on the left-hand side of the field. And Michael Wainwright, seasoned campaigner, finishes off on the other side of the field for his 9th try of the season.
Superb play from Dewsbury. Pat Walker takes this ball right to the line, allowing the overlap for James Craven, who keeps his composure, finds Aidan File, who keeps his legs, gets the ball away again. Alive, enthusiastic, energetic. Brambani goes into the tackle, plays it quick, and this is a wonderful pass and a very, very good finish. And Michael Wainwright keeping Dewsbury Rams in this game. There's a lot to admire about this Dewsbury side.
Walker with the conversion from the touchline, and that's a great kick from Patch Walker. And Dewsbury, well, if they are going to go down tonight, they're not going to go down without a fight. And Warren Jowett's side, well, you'd expect that of them at least. Still very much in it. 10-16 the scoreline here.
Well, James Craven's come up with 2 fabulous plays in this game, and that shows what a dangerous side Dewsbury can be when they play the game at speed. They really are catching Leigh Centurions out, and this try is just sheer vision and determination from Wainwright. When he steps off his right foot, he gets inside Dean McGilvray to ground that ball, and he gets Dewsbury yet again back into this game.
Great ball from Mark Barlow as well to set it up, and then Nannin has put that one out on the full.
Well, you never see Mick Nannin come up with many mistakes in a game, but that is the pressure of playing rugby league. He just tried to get his team more yards, and now this Dewsbury side are attacking 20 yards from Leigh's line.
It's been a lively first 25 minutes here. Dewsbury do get their first penalty. Here is Barlow, who was in the side, and he has a last-minute call-up for the injured Josh Tonks. Now, Matty Nicholson, a Leeds Academy product, plays the ball. Walker. Here is Spicer, and Spicer's offload goes to ground. It's still alive, and it could be in. Is it Nicholson? It's Matty Nicholson, but has he got the ball down? He did get the ball down. How did it come to his hands? Was there a knock-on, says the referee. It's a busy night so far for video ref Ian Smith. The pass went to ground from Spicer.
This is a beautiful line from Rob Spicer. He puts the offload inside to Luke Blake. Matty Nicholson picks it up, wonderful pick up, stoops down. Does he get the ball over? Oh! I don't know. I think Tommy Goulden has just done enough to deny Matty Nicholson this try. It's a good pick-up. Well, there's nobody in a better position than the referee, George Stokes.
That ball's come loose, hasn't it? Ian Smith, the video ref.
I'll tell you who's in a better position, Tommy Goulden. If he prevents this try from being scored, well, he definitely loses control.
Well, Leigh are all gathered by their posts in anticipation of the try being awarded, but they might be a bit premature there.
There's enough separation there, I'm sure. Well, he's lost control of that ball. Has it come off his knee?
Tommy Goulden has come in with his knees there. That could be what video ref Ian Smith is looking at, and that could influence his decision. Could it be a penalty try?
Time back on. Stewart.
It's a penalty try that has been awarded, we're hearing, by Ian Smith.
Oh, I know that. Yeah,
and Tommy Goulden, are judged to have used his knees in trying to prevent that try from Nicholson. Goulden looking completely bewildered there. But Walker, bang in front of the post, will add 2 more points. Out of the stadium, in actual fact, that successful conversion goes. And the scores level now, 16 points apiece. And young Matty Nicholson, 19 years of age, coming on and making an impact.
Well, this is that line from Rob Spicer. Lovely offload. And Luke Blake gets the try if he's in the right position. You can see what Tommy Goulden's trying to do. He's trying to put his body in the way of Matty Nicholson. But Ian Smith awards the penalty try. I think he likes that one, Bill.
And another penalty. Well, they were moaning about the lack of a penalty. Now they're getting them thick and fast.
So they've kicked the ball out on the full the last time they were down here, and now they give a penalty away. They are definitely rattled Leigh Centurions. A couple of Leigh Centurions players picking on. There's Nicholson. He goes in for the try. Ian Smith saying it was lodged out, it was dislodged from Tommy Goulden's knee.
So that's clipped the Centurions' wings. And Dewsbury right back in it. 16 points apiece here. A bonus point, a draw, probably not enough. A win is really what Dewsbury have got to go for here this evening. York and Hunslet, of course, watching the outcome of this, and Dewsbury really are fired up now. And I think they've got another penalty. Offside against the Centurions there.
Offside against Leigh. It was a good offload from Nicholson to a supporting player. George Stokes being told we'll take 2, sir.
And the referee Stokes saying, I've told you 3 times about encroaching, and that was 1 time too many for the Centurions as far as the referee is concerned.
They're so determined, they're running with so much purpose. Every time they get the ball, the forwards from Dewsbury, they poke in the nose through, they're looking to offload the ball. Can Walker kick this?
He's put Dewsbury Rams ahead. We've had 14 points in 5 minutes in this game, and it's turned around in favour of Warren Jowett's side. What a comeback it is from the Rams, and Ian Millward, well, looking pretty calm despite the mayhem that's going on out there.
Well, since they've sorted the discipline out, they really are playing on the front foot. Players pushing up in support. As I said earlier, this Dewsbury side, they're not beaten. They're still in survival mode at the minute.
Oh, and then they come up with an error. James Craven cursing himself, or was he suggesting that Austin Buchanan might have helped him out there?
This was a wicked bounce. There was Nicholson and Buchanan. I think Buchanan saying to his fullback, I had it. But obviously Craven didn't get that communication, and it's a dropout, and now they've got to defend a set of 6.
I think that's a very generous interpretation of what was said there.
Got to keep it clean, Bill.
Here is David Mills off the bench and into the action for the Centurions, coming up to the half-hour mark here. Dewsbury lead 18 points to 16. Here's Littler now. Gets the ball away to Robbie Hunter-Paul, who's dumped to the ground. Ferocious tackle on him by Lockwood. Robbie Hunter-Paul, of course, had neck injury problems at the start of the season, had a major neck operation. Here's Ellis, Ridyard, and Leigh looking to go back in front as Goulden plays the ball. Nanin will try and bulldoze his way over, and I think he's got that ball down. It's going to be another decision for the video ref.
Check into the ground, Brian.
Well, Dewsbury need to be better on the goal line. Mick Nanin, he's nodded, he's got it down.
46.
I don't think there's anything wrong with this try. I think it's just a little bit messy. Bram Barnett, Wainwright and Craven again. There's 3 players in attendance. There's more than enough to deal with that. That's a try. And the bench is important for Leigh. They brought on Robbie Hunter-Paul and David Mills, who'll make an impact. And here we get the decision.
Not much doubt about that one. Second of the night for Mick Nanin. As mentioned, got a hat-trick in the home game against the Rams.
Well, Dewsbury, of course, scoring enough tries to win this game, but what they can't do is play touch and pass. Dominic Brombarnett may well punch the ground. He'd be disappointed with that when he watches it again. He knows that Mick Nanin will target him all day. Big man on little man. There's only one winner 9 times out of 10.
Well, Nanin lining up the conversion from wide out. The last couple of kicks haven't covered him in glory. He missed the conversion, then he put the restart out on the full. Chances are he'll land this one from probably the most difficult position. Despite the best encouragement of the Rams supporters breathing down his neck here. Mick Nanin over 3,000 career points. Record breaker at virtually every club he's been to. And this one sets it off well, and not the most elegantly struck kick, but it was on target and gives those supporters the thumbs up. Probably the sort of gesture you'd like to see, really. 22 points to 18.
Well, Dominic Brambani, simple as he's got to be better. He comes up, he plants his feet. He didn't target anywhere there, and it's just the big man straight over the top. And 3 men in attendance, and they still couldn't prevent him from scoring the try. Warren Joe will be disappointed with that effort.
RHP underneath that one.
Move. Hold.
There he is, Robbie Hunter-Paul. Final season in what has been a glittering career, and could bow out with 2 more medals. Another grand final appearance, perhaps. A lot of people have Leigh and Featherstone marked down for that grand final appearance next month in Warrington. Penalty goes the way of Leigh Centurions.
Well, Menzies ends up, quite unfortunately, having the ball in his hand. He's trying to effect the tackle, and he ends up, and just helps it on the way. And Luke Menzies gives another 30 metres to the Centurions.
Of course, Batley will have a say in who gets the grand final, and Halifax hoping so to do. Widnes, Sheffield as well. But the form of Leigh and Featherstone has been outstanding at the top of the table. Here is Nanin, already on a hat-trick. Stopped about 5 metres out. Quick play the ball. Ridyard, Ellis comes back across the field, and they're toying with the Rams now as Goulden inches his way towards the line and looks at the referee and says, "Are you going to call held at any point?" Here is Ellis now. Ridyard on, Littler's put that down. They were in then, but Littler couldn't take the pass.
Well, it was just a simple catch. Stuart Littler, all he had to do was gather that ball in to extend the lead from Leigh Centurions. Ridyard does everything right. He straightens the play up, and Stuart Littler, he gets on the outside of Walker, and that was a certain try if he could have kept hold of that ball. But again, good build-up play from Leigh Centurions, and Robbie Hunter-Paul having a big say now in this game.
The crowd gone a bit quiet until Andy Smith comes up with a rousing run to lift their spirits. Here's Austin Buchanan now.
Well, they've been in the same situation in this game. They've been behind, yet they've still come from behind to get in front. And James Craven, the man who's behind the play the ball, he's come up with 2 huge plays. Again, he's looking for another one, but not on that occasion.
Spicer, 4 tackles gone as they get over the 40-metre line. Blake and Brambani goes for a 40-20, does he? But it's down the middle of the field, couldn't get the angle right. McGilvery lets it sit up for him, and Smith makes the tackle, aided by Barlow.
Oh, that's a good chase. Lots of energy in the Dewsbury legs.
Here's Tom Armstrong, hero of that Northern Rail Cup final win against Halifax. Last-minute try engineered by Martin Ridyard that broke the Halifax hearts in Blackpool and gave the Centurions the trophy. David Mills. 4 tackles gone as he plays the ball just side his own half. Now Ellis. Quiet night so far from Jamie Ellis, been content to pull the strings really. Here he is now, drills the kick down the sidelines. It's a good one, but just a bit too strong, and Craven lets it run.
Willing that ball out of play, 20 metres gained. Even though they go against a set defence, Dewsbury, maybe consciously or subconsciously, have settled into the arm wrestle now.
Wainwright. Ellis involved in the tackle, there he is, conceding the penalty.
Yeah, I thought so. Michael Wainwright, in his haste to get up, Michael Wainwright hits Jamie Ellis 2 or 3 times.
Well, what's Jamie Ellis doing then?
Jamie Ellis is slowing the play of the ball down. 6 and 2 threes that, Bill.
It's my job to referee, not yours, come on.
Well, Ellis off to Hull next season. He's going to have some competition there with Aaron Herrenmeyer and Brett Seymour going to the black and whites as well. They're going to have a few halfbacks to choose from, but he's certainly put a marker down the former St Helens player this season. Well, another penalty has given Leigh great field position, and they're driving the ball forward now with young Sam Hopkins. Hopkins plays the ball, Mills comes trundling onto it, but they were waiting for that one. Rob Spicer desperately trying to organise his fellow defenders. Ellis, 4 tackles gone.
What's the flop, 6?
Walker it was with the tackle. And Walker again in quickly on Robbie Hunter-Paul. Ridyard will pick the ball up. Gets it to Hopkins. Hopkins trying to keep it alive. That's the 5th tackle. Good defence from Dewsbury. Good scrambling defence from them at the moment. Ellis, though, Ridyard stabs the kick in, and it's belted away by Wainwright, conceding the goal line dropout.
Well, that last set of 6 from Dewsbury just shows what desire that they have in the side. Wainwright, he's not taking any chances. But they're coming from nowhere, the Shirts and the Dewsbury players. They're just turning up, they're putting Leigh under pressure, and Leigh are trying everything. The second phase, getting the ball away, offloading the ball at will. But not scoring on that occasion.
Time back on.
Dewsbury desperate to keep Leigh out for the remainder of this first half, just to limit the damage. The crowd might have had a point there.
I think they did, Bill, yeah. He turned his back and passed that ball forward, I feel, but Leigh in another good position. Tez is right, you won't find this defensive system at the minute in any playbook, in any coaching manual. There's the forward pass. But it's just about them wanting to go down right to the wire and make it really difficult for Leigh.
Ellis, how cruel it would be if they do go in here. Well, they might yet, because the ball is still with the Centurions. Knock on, says the referee. It was a Dewsbury knock on, surely, and head and feet to the Centurions.
Here's the nice pass. Ridyard continually makes that play, takes it right to the line, trying to thread one of his players, one of his runners. And Dominic Brambani maybe asking the referee, was there not a Leigh knock on before I knocked on? But I think the correct decision, here it is, just couldn't gather it up.
Ellis now
Hold.
Tackled.
Go.
About 5 metres out.
2. Move. Hold. Go.
Drive from Mills. Robbie Hunter-Paul and Ellis was standing virtually on the try line. And he's held up just short, says the referee. Here's Ridyard now. 4 tackles gone.
On your line, both feet, wait.
Can Dewsbury withstand this assault? Here is Ellis. Ellis this time puts the kick in, and Brambani will try and get out of trouble. He might just do that. The captain doing well. Leading from the front, Dominic Brambani.
That's wonderful, wonderful from Brambani and Dewsbury. 2 separate sets of 6. They held the composure, held tight, defended as a unit, picked up that ball, and look at this from Brambani. He's every right to get rid of it. He knows that his team's just defended it. 2 sets of 6, and now they've got the ball just coming up to the halfway.
Great defensive work, back-to-back sets of 6. Defended by the Rams there. They're up on the halfway line after that penalty that's relieved some of the pressure. It's Brambani. It's a good run from him. He really does hit the ball at a tilt. And Warren Jowett's appealing for something there. So the first half coming to an end, and what a first 40 minutes it's been. Dewsbury really not willing to let the Centurions get a grip on this game. And Buchanan is going to score at the death at the end of the first half. Austin Buchanan chasing that kick, snatching it out of the hands of the Leigh defenders. And that rounds off a fascinating, fantastic first 40 minutes here at the Tetley Stadium. No doubt about that one. And Austin Buchanan, who's had a quiet first half by his standards, gets try number 16 this season. And what a try it was. Talk about staying alive for the first 40 minutes, right till the hooter.
Well, Austin, the man Buchanan, chases as hard as he can on this wonderful kick. And that ball bounces into his hands because he puts himself in the right place. There's no luck about this. Great catch, and Dewsbury are fighting tooth and nail.
And Walker has missed the conversion. He seemed to hurry that one, Pat Walker. But 22 points apiece it is at the break. And Dewsbury Rams, second from bottom in the table, in desperate need of a win here tonight to stay alive in the relegation battle. Well, they're certainly doing that. They're up against the Northern